Glued laminated bamboo and glued sliced bamboo. Glued laminated bamboo, GLB, is a very useful product nowadays, with several applications replacing wood and plastic, such as household utensils, flooring, and decorations. GLB, however, requires some important considerations. First, a large part of the bamboo is wasted for the production of strips, and only the thickest part, or type A, will offer sufficient raw material. Therefore, the rest of the bamboo is not used, or used for other purposes with low added value, such as coal, for example, which is not the best solution in environmental and economic terms. Also consider that GLB does not use bamboo bark, precisely the most resistant and durable part of the material. Therefore, GLB is not a material that can be exposed to the sun and humidity, even with preservative and waterproofing treatment. Furthermore, a common report from those who use GLB on household utensils, such as meat cutting boards and pan sideboards, is that the product's glue cannot withstand heat or impact. The slats come loose and the assembly needs to be fixed with metal clips or thrown away. In other words, an expensive product compared to plastic, and if it doesn't last the same or longer, it simply isn't worth the price paid. Finally, anyone who intends to enter the GLB production market needs to make a large investment in production machinery in a very competitive market. Thinking about an alternative solution to GLB, which considered these issues, the idea came up of making a more rustic and resistant product which made more use of bamboo and was cheaper and easier to produce without the need for heavy machinery. It is glue sliced bamboo, GSB, a patented product, which means only we who are responsible for this patent has authorization to produce and sell this material. And if you want to produce or sell it, you need to ask for our authorization. GSB production is similar to GLB in the beginning. The bamboos are cut to the desired size and then sliced. Important detail: at this point you have two possible paths: slice the bamboo and then treat it, placing it in a drum, or cut the pieces, treat them with a preservative, and then slice them. If you are slicing first, use the star knife, a knife with 4, 6, or 8 blades, depending on the width of the bamboo. Usually for guadua and dendrocalamus we use the 8th blade. And clean the diaphragms to make the most of the space in the drum. At the end, when it's completely dry, you go to the table saw. If you're treating first, or if the sticks you treated crack and you want to reuse, which is possible, finish the treatment process and then pass each one through the table saw to form bamboo strips of the desired size. For example, a 10 centimeter bamboo diameter, the strips will be 3.9 centimeters before aligning. Don't remove the bark. This is important. The bark is the most important and most durable part of the bamboo. It is important that the bamboo strips are as straight as possible to facilitate the next step, which is stapling, and preventing the foam from leaking through the gaps. Tip: for slicing, pass the bamboo with the bark facing down, and to remove the edges and make it well aligned, pass the bamboo with the bark facing upwards. Next step: staple the strips together to make a mat. It is worth using a compressor and a staple gun to speed up this process. The bamboo strips can be made a little larger than desired, as at the end of gluing the edges of the GSB will need alignment. Use expanding foam to glue the two stapled bamboo mats together, so that the whole is well covered with the foam. When gluing one mat to another, remember to rotate it 90 degrees. For example, the bottom one in a north-south direction and the top one in an east-west direction. Only glue the insides, that is, leave the bamboo skin out. If there is a gap left unfilled with the expanding foam, a little PVA glue will do the trick and finish it. On the other hand, excess foam needs to be removed with a craft knife. The final finish is the same: stain and varnish. The boards are much more resistant than GLB because they also use bamboo bark. There is less waste of raw materials and less investment in products. Expanding foam is much cheaper than glue. And GSB is an excellent thermal and acoustic insulator, which means good for houses. For the construction of bamboo houses, GSB is an excellent option. Just assemble the structure, for using bamboo too, obviously, and screw the plates to the floor, walls and ceiling, under the tiles with brass Phillips head screws. If the piece will be used on furniture or floors, for example, and requires a better finish, apply thick masking tapes a few times to the edges and fill the surface with acrylic resin, so it will make a very smooth surface. Keep in mind that GSB will not replace GLB. They are very distinct and complementary applications. But it is an innovation that can reduce the cost of a house by 300%, considering labor and material, compared to reinforced concrete and masonry, for example, making it more pleasant for the resident and the environment, in addition to save on energy consumption. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who built it labor in vain. Psalm 126:1. Make your work, His work, God's work in your life, and your work will be rewarded.